In response to the short that we posted that we hope get like thousands and thousands of views, we're going to show you what we plan on doing with these apple trees that we just cut in half, along with a couple of peaches. This is our attempt at some grocery grow gardening from David the Good. We saw some Walmart trees that were $10 each. They had 3 apples and 2 peaches, and we noticed that they were pretty old and pretty decrepit on the top, so we just chopped them down. And it seems to be the way that a lot of these more advanced fruit growers will actually, before they plant it or as they plant it, they'll chop off like half of the height. So we're gonna wait on these peaches until they go into dormancy, because there's still a lot of energy in these branches, even though there's not a whole lot of leaves. Got a couple up top there, but here in January, February, when we go to do our pruning, probably going to be cutting it down to here. So we're going to get these all lined up so that we can remember where they came from and what they are. It'll be a nice little spot to have some mini fruit trees around the edge of this walkway. So we're going to get to planting here. We'll show you how root bound all of these trees are from Walmart. So hopefully you can hear me pretty well. If not, we'll just throw some text up there. But if you look at the ground, it has rained about an inch or so the last couple of days. However, any grass or ground that's been mowed is still super dry and hard to dig. But because we have all this nice covering, it's super easy for us to dig. So I don't need anything more than just a hand shovel to toss all this off. Of course, to get more weight into the digging, just get on your knees and push down and get big old clumps like that. Makes pretty quick work planting a tree.
Not so bad.
Ooh, really good.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. Do we have a taproot in here? Yep. Dumping just like that. Oh, see, too small. Look at that. That's like perfect, huh? I don't know what's up with all this weird bark that they put in.
This is fertilizer, honey. Fertilizer.
Bark? Like pieces of bark.
Yeah.
Ew. Gross. Yep. Try not to use the cedar shavings in my planting. Dirt is good. I don't know about cedar barking.
Look.
You want to give it to the chickens?
Later. You're too small.
They're just baby chickens.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what?
Well, oh my gosh.
It is not right.
Well, we haven't even watered it. Yeah, if you want to show here, this is the actual root ball. That's where the feeder roots start coming off. You don't want to bury it, you just want to kind of semi-cover it. And then you just grab some of this handy dandy grass that's growing everywhere around. Mulch. Especially this early in the year, like the grass is still growing somewhat, so you don't have to worry about making a bare spot. You know, I grab whole handfuls and it doesn't make a dent. The more cover you get, the wetter the soil will be. the happier the tree will be. And we always come back through, do regular walk-arounds and see how things are still mulched and all that. We'll grab another handful of grass and throw it around. And that's it. There's your Honeycrisp apple. Super happy. 2 branches here, another branch here, and another one. So I'll have to see. I think this will end up being an espalier. Maybe this one branch in the back will come up. I think this one's gonna get chopped. Chop, chop. We got 3 of the 5 in the ground now. Here's an apple, Honeycrisp apple, Georgia peach. You see, it's pretty tall for 10 bucks. Pretty good deal. And then we have this 3rd apple, which we're gonna have to straighten up. It's not exactly going the right way. I want to show you the root difference between, here's one of the peaches. I showed you this a little bit earlier, but decently loose, but there's still a lot of wrapping around, as you can see as this one goes around. This one's come up, and then we'll have to work that one out. But these apples, well, the last apple I did was really, really loose, and I was able to pick it up and then just kind of just go like this. And that's what I've been trying to do with all of them. You can go like this, knock a lot of it free, and then it becomes a bare root tree. And I think that's why they put these shavings in here, to kind of cause air pockets or separations, or, you know what I mean? I think they're just trying to make some sort of soil structure using these chips. But as you can see, some of them are just, they're coming from down, and then they're coming back up, and then getting trapped by the pot, and then circling around trying to find air, and then they end up coming up to the surface. So this is the kind of stuff you want to look out for. It looks good, and just like that other one, we had trimmed some of the roots. And if you were to dig the holes much bigger than we have and have looser soil, like to a greater extent around the trees, you wouldn't really have to do that. But since we cut a great big chunk out of that tree, because it was just as tall as the peach, some of the roots are probably going to die back anyways. So not too horrible a thing to do. I'm going to get these 2 planted and get them straightened up, and you'll show you what they look like. Yeah, these apple trees have really just been able to fall apart into just the roots, which is so helpful. But you can see that all this is wrapped around here. Kind of untangle it, but as long as the hole is big enough to allow for it to move. See how loose that is? Pretty decent on the side, but because it's shaped like this, kind of concave or arrowed or angled, as we dump it in, we'll actually just scoop some of this dirt into the hole with it to kind of fill in those blank spots. And of course, we'll water them in pretty heavily with extra soil on the top. And we'll put a cedar nonsense with the nitrogen nodule pellet thingies on top, and I'll let them settle in. And we usually water in all of our trees for the first 3 days. We'll make sure to water them each day. But to give you a visual idea of what is going to be planted here, all along here, here we have a honeyberry, a hascap, probably a borealis. We have a seaberry. We have some strawberries that are still hanging out in there. And then to give you here's a fig, Chicago hardy fig that came back this year, hasn't grown up too much. We have a crooked apple tree. Sorry for the camera work here. I don't have that straight. People make fun of me. So, yeah, that's pretty decent, in line with everything. So it'll be Honeycrisp apple, Georgia peach, or Alberta peach. We actually forgot which one was which. We're gonna call this Alberta peach. And then a Honeycrisp apple. We have an aronia berry here. We have a aprium here. And then we have the Georgia peach along with an elderberry here in the back. And of course it just kind of keeps going on. Here's a local black cherry, and all sorts of other gooseberries and aronia berries and stuff like that. So, along with random flowers that we planted on the edges of everything, it should be a really cool little look. Because if we go to the right, milkweed there in the back. We've also planted one of these, which is, the Shorts aster. After this rain that we got, they actually just started all popping up, the Shorts aster, so it's pretty cool. We have an assortment of milkweed here with gooseberry, another Shorts aster, an almond that we will need to cut the sucker off of, because this was grafted on. That black spot denotes where they grafted onto the root ball. You see the leaves actually coming out of the graft there, so we could actually just snip that right now. So I'm going to grab the hose and I'll show you just how we water them in, kind of give you an idea of how long it takes. And it's easier to visualize if you don't have the covering on there, because you want to let it pool up and then drop, pool up and drop, pool up and drop. So kind of everything is done in threes, unless you only have 2 peach trees, then you do 3 apples and 2 peach. So everything done in threes. You water them in for the first 3 days, just to make sure that they have the ability to spread out their roots and grab a foothold. As I look at a hazelnut right back there, you can see on the ground, it's alive. So I've moved across all the mulch that we had set on there to show you kind of how we have a concave little deal there, so we're not burying the actual root ball itself, so that it doesn't like start to rot and stuff like that. But I'll show you what I mean by letting the water pool up. See how that's pooled up, and that soil was pretty decently moist because it just rained. So perhaps we'll just go to each tree, give that amount of water, and then we'll come back to see how well this one's done. Maybe a count to 10. Start back over. So now you can see that the water's soaked in. Another, see, even after like 5 seconds, it's already pulled up. Yeah, so we might only have to do it twice. What we'll do now is we'll actually clean up all of our buckets and all that stuff, and then we'll come back, check on this first tree again, and probably just water it one more time. I don't think it's possible really to overwater it. Trying to get enough water in there to displace any air pockets, because you want the roots actually touching soil. So the more you can make that happen, the better. But as I'm looking at this first hole, it's been about a minute and it's still pooled up. So we'll check after we put these buckets away and clean up our tools. If not, I'll just remulch it again and let it go until tomorrow. About 3 minutes later, and this is what we're looking at. So we will do one more spray down for the whole area, and then we'll call it quit for the day. So I just want to get this video out because you can see that even trees from Walmart that are discounted at $10, they are not horribly root bound, and they're definitely worth it to buy. I'm not sure about the nursery or the quality. Are these all actually Honeycrisp? There were some questionable graft marks. I'm not too sure, but for $10, and we got free buckets with them, $10 a piece. Whatever they end up being, it'll be a nice little, I think, walkway no matter what kind of fruit they put on. And they're also good stock for any future grafts from any of the named varieties we've gotten from Gurney's and Stark Brothers and stuff like that. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time when we probably plant some more stuff. All right, bye-bye.